A contractor maintenance crew was engaged by a rail infrastructure manager to conduct remedial work on a rail underbridge in a regional location. The crew included a protection officer who had been subcontracted in for this specific safety role by the maintenance contractor. The protection officer requested lookout working for the purpose of minor works that would not break or obstruct the track. The protection officer obtained train running information as the means of protecting the worksite from the safety risks posed by rolling stock and other machinery that would still be using the track. The protection officer was also the nominated lookout at the site. As the work commenced at the underbridge, and despite having established lookout working as the means of protecting the worksite, the protection officer used a private vehicle to travel to and from an adjacent level crossing to provide assistance in bringing an excavator on track. The protection officer repeated this process to assist with removal of the excavator prior to the expected arrival of a freight train through the area. The protection officer then returned to assist with work at the site before calling the network control officer to end the lookout working period. After the freight train had cleared the worksite, the protection officer requested a second period of lookout working from the network control officer. Once again, the protection officer left the worksite in a private vehicle to help put the excavator on track. The excavator was then driven back to the worksite area. At this time, employees of the Rail Infrastructure Manager were performing a high rail track patrol under a track occupancy authority in the area and sighted the worksite and the excavator on the track from a distance. The employees immediately stopped and contacted the network control officer to report a serious safety incident. The protection officer noticed the stationary high rail and immediately alerted the maintenance crew to clear the track. The excavator was quickly dismounted and driven into the cess area alongside the track. The Rail Infrastructure Manager employees travelling in the high rail proceeded to the worksite and took control of the site from the contractor protection officer. Investigations into this incident reveal that significant errors were made in both the planning for and implementation of the worksite protection arrangements. This was remedial work that had followed initial maintenance at the underbridge location. On these previous occasions, a local possession authority and a track occupancy authority were used to protect the maintenance crew. Unlike lookout working, these protection types provide exclusive occupancy for the section of track required and prevent the entry of rail traffic. The Rail Infrastructure Manager had decided, based on the minor scope of works proposed, that this final round of remedial works could be conducted under a contractor supervisor, a decision made via an undocumented risk assessment. On the day, the maintenance contractor supervisor did not arrive on site. Interviews with those involved also revealed procedures such as signing the safe working briefing were not completed and that there had been inadequate training in the Rail Infrastructure Manager's network rules and procedures provided to the protection officer. There was also confusion about the exact location, nature, and extent of the work to be performed by the maintenance crew on the day. The subcontracted protection officer subsequently established a fixed worksite with the incorrect type of track protection, a situation exacerbated by serious errors of judgment. Fundamentally, upon realising the true nature of the work involved, in this case having ascertained that a 21-ton excavator was to be used on site, the protection officer should have immediately changed the nature of the protection to address the risks to safety prior to any work beginning. In light of this incident, the Office of the National Rail Safety Regulator is of the view that rail infrastructure managers should review their procedures and specifically their training provisions associated with work on track. Rail transport operators should not solely rely on external training and the provision of a qualification to provide assurance. A qualification alone does not provide assurance that rail safety workers are competent to perform tasks. Operators should be assured that any staff are briefed on and understand local conditions. Track worker safety and contractor management are current national priorities for ONRSR, and further information and resources are available on our website.